挽回金色足ぎ地蔵
Mayuri Kurotsuchi is the captain of the 12th Division in the Godai 13th and second president of the Shinigami Research Institute. His previous lieutenant was Nemu Kurotsuchi, his artificially created daughter, and his current lieutenant is Akon. He formerly served as the third seat of the 12th Division under Kisuke Urahara. Mayuri Kurotsuchi is a researcher and personifies the stereotype of the mad scientist. By his early actions during the Ryoka invasion, he is displayed as sadistic and cruel. He sees everyone and everything not as a living being, but as an object to be researched, including himself. He has little respect or regard for most others, and was even willing to turn his own men, who were not aware of his plans, into living bombs in an attempt to capture Uryu Ishida and Orihime Inoue for experimentation. He also withheld vital information about the bounce from the other Shinigami in order to capture one as a research subject for himself. However, while he usually shows disregard for life, he has been known to warn people of possible dangers when they present themselves. As a scientist, Mayuri despises perfection, as he believes that achieving such a state leaves him with absolutely nothing more to strive for, namely imagination, knowledge and improvements, which would result in nothing but despair. Because of this, he derided Sapporo grunts for claiming to be a perfect life form. It is known that Mayuri's favorite food is pikefish, and that he does not like onion. One of his free time activities is reading every character published in Sarite Communication. He himself publishes a serialization in the journal, titled Effective Medication for the Brain, which apparently contains detailed instructions on preparation of medicine and their application. Surprisingly, it is highly popular among the readers. In battle, Mayuri likes to toy with his opponent, torturing them little by little until they can hardly stand. He did this in both the fight with Uryu and his Espada counterpart Sapporo. Every time he fights he uses it as an experiment, testing himself and his opponent little by little. He also uses it as an opportunity to implant microbes or other things in case they get away. Before engaging, though, he will make extensive research on his possible opponents to tilt the chance of winning in his favor. Before the Winter War, he is busy reading in the library with a note on the door saying, "Enter and die." Mayuri's utter disregard for life even extends to the rest of the Godai 13, believing that all members of the organization are to be prepared to give up their lives in order to protect the Sarite. To this end, he would gladly cut down any former comrades, even if they are under the enemy's control, test many of his experimental drugs on such comrades for the sake of his research which he believes to be the sake of the Sarite, and even force his zombified fellow captains to become his minions to fight to their last breath for the sake of Godai 13 and Soul Society, as opposed to killing them out of mercy. Despite his disregard for most life, Mayuri is very obsessive about creating it, and it is his dream to create a soul out of nothing. This led to him being overjoyed when the 7th test of the Nemuri project was successful. As a leading researcher in Soul Society, Mayuri has developed a number of unique items. The notable ones are below. Nikubakuten flesh bomb. Mayuri has developed biological bombs that he has implanted into the bodies of his own subordinates without their knowledge. By using a remote detonator he can set off the bombs which use every biological portion of the body, causing devastating explosions that can seriously damage the surrounding area.
Bankai Konjiki Asogi Jizo.
Kanjiki Ashisogi Jizo has poison ability and use against Sapporo. Bankai special ability: the creature breathes a poisonous derivative of Mayuri's blood, which is lethal to anyone who breathes it. Aside from Mayuri and Nemu, the poison spreads through an area of about 200 meters around Kanjiki Ashisogi Jizo, and it is almost impossible to avoid. The poison of Kanjiki Ashisogi Jizo poison is very potent, as Sapporo's body started to break down immediately after it was introduced. The poison has an antidote, which Nemu keeps behind her lieutenant's badge, and which Mayuri keeps on his person. Mayuri can change the composition of the poison as well, ensuring that no foolproof antidote can ever be manufactured to cure it, and no immunity is developed against it. Even if the opponent does not breathe, the poison will still enter their body. Mayuri's modified Bankai, Kanjiki Ashisogi Jizo, Matai Fuku and Shatai. Modified Bankai, Kanjiki Ashisogi Jizo, Matai Fuku and Shatai, Golden Leg Cutting Jizo, Demonic Womb Covering Seal Symptomatic Body, viz demonic recumbent womb. When necessary, Mayuri can unleash a modified form of his Bankai. This takes the form of an enormous, heavy-set, purple-skinned baby dressed in a golden loincloth and with golden fabric covering its pectorals. It has a misshapen head with completely white eyes, which is adorned with two branches of a balancing scale holding up large boxes, and its belly has a large vertical gash in the center with the kanji for conceal written with the individual kanji on either side. The baby rests on a large pile of thick umbilical cords with visible veins. Mayuri Kurotsuchi ranked 28th place in the third popularity poll. His fight with Uryu was ranked 8th place in the Bleach best bout. His sword, Ashisogi Jizo, was the 26th ranked Zanpakuto in the 5th poll. Mayuri has appeared in much merchandise including keychains, armbands, and action figures. Carlos Santos of Anime News Network said that there was a certain amount of ridiculousness in watching Sialap or Grants and Mayuri try to get the upper hand on each other during their fight. However, he went on to say that Mayuri finishing the battle was a wonderfully jaw-dropping conclusion to Volume 34. D.F. Smith of IGN.com praised Terrence Stone's voice acting and noted that it's more than weird enough to match the character. Bryce Coulter characterized Mayuri as sinister, twisted and pragmatic. He also said that he was a creepy old man and an absolute freak, but an empirical scientist at heart.